back to the group chats and footy accumulators powered by our friends at William Hill, and I'm joined as always by my very dear friend Sir Alan McInally. Thanks for joining us. Now, big news, Al. We've only gone on here 1,000 subscribers in a matter of a few weeks, so thank you very much. I think it's your wit and charm we've got to thank for that.
Well, naturally, but it's probably one of mine, one of Paul's, and 998 of yours, I suppose.
Well, whatever it is, thank you very much. And we are joined once again by another of our very dear friends, former Arsenal, Man City and Leicester striker Paul Dickov, and we're going to be getting your thoughts on all of the weekend's fixtures. So we look forward to that.
All right, can't get rid of me now.
It's good to have you. I think Alan keeps bringing you back because you keep going for lunch afterwards. You're getting lunch, aren't you?
Yeah,
this is what it is.
Yeah, if you think his forfeit was bad, wait to see lunch. But yes, that's why you're not invited, by the way. Well, it's a boys' lunch, isn't it? Listen, thanks, pal, for coming in again. Kevin De Bruyne, speak to me about Kevin De Bruyne.
It's sensational. Against Arsenal on Sunday was unplayable. The first goal he scored, I think there's only Kevin De Bruyne that can have that finish in any team in the Premier League, and he just keeps getting better all the time.
Where does he rate then? I mean, they've had some influential football players at Manchester City and some wonderful football players. Give me a number from 1 to 10. Where did Kevin De Bruyne rate in Manchester City?
I think he will be number one. We all know about the assists, his passing. Pep said the other day that he sees things that no other footballer and can see, but he's got a bit of grit about him as well. He lives and breathes football. He's a leader. I fully expect, the best midfielder, not just in the Premier League or for Manchester City for me the last 10 years has been David Silva.
Yeah.
But I fully expect Kevin De Bruyne to overtake him.
Has he got leadership qualities that he'd be looking at, even captaincy? Because the likes of company going, and I don't see Aguero as a real leader captain-wise on the pitch. Yeah,
and I think he'll take over from David Silva as captain for many years to come, and keep saying it, I've been so fortunate to be away with the team and the squad sometimes, and you see him on the training ground, you see him in the team hotel. And he's a leader. You don't always have to, this, Al, you don't have to shout and bawl at people to be a leader. You lead by example with how you handle yourself. His football knowledge is phenomenal. But for me, it's a big shout because you've had Yaya Toure in there as well. Fernandinho in his position, and obviously the wonderful David Silva. But I think Kevin De Bruyne, not just for Manchester City, but
high praise indeed,
It is indeed. Thank you for that, Paul. Do you know what? I think you'll struggle to find many people that disagree with you there, though. Right then, as usual, we'll have our Nat Challenge, the group chat acca, and this week we are going to mix it up slightly. I'm going to get your guys' predictions for the remainder of the season. How does that sound?
Very good.
Right then, let's start with your predictions. So this is going to test you, Paul. Who wins the Premier League this season? Could Man City do it?
Next question, please.
She is wicked.
Absolutely. Could they do it? It's going to be so difficult because Liverpool they're just a machine at the minute. But I'll look back to last season.
Hey, hang on a minute. Liverpool 1-14 to win the league. That's short, Paul. Leicester 16s, even though they're second. City 8-1 to win the league.
It isn't. Look, I know it's 14 points, and without making myself sound stupid, I look back to the Newcastle defeat in February.
We were speaking. Sorry to interrupt. We were speaking earlier on, and I didn't remember this, but they went on an amazing run last year, even though they were points behind.
Yeah, in February, 14 games left, 8 points behind Liverpool. Everybody thought it was done. I think Manchester City probably thought it was done, but they went and won 14 games in the bounce to end up winning the league, which just shows you that if any team can do it, Manchester City can.
You've certainly got your blue tinted spectacles on,
as
haven't
always.
You, Paul? Right, looking ahead to the weekend then, of course, your thoughts on Man City versus Leicester. Two of your former teams both chasing Liverpool.
Yeah, a game I'm looking forward to.
You haven't got company to hit it from 30 yards this time.
Oh, what a strike that was, by the way. But yeah, look, two attacking teams. I think there's going to be goals in it. City look back to their normal self, against Burnley a couple of weeks ago, and then away at Arsenal. I've got to say Arsenal are pretty poor though. With it being at the Etihad, I think both teams will score. Obviously, Jamie Vardy's been on fire. Leicester have been great, although disappointing result last weekend. But I think Manchester City will win it 3-1.
Really? Vardy or Aguero?
I've got to go say it. Look, I've got a man crush in Sergio Aguero anyway. I just think he's magnificent. I can go to the Etihad as an ex-striker, and I could just watch him for the whole 90 minutes.
Jamie Vardy, though, 16 goals in the Premier League so far this season.
He just keeps getting
on fire.
Yeah, he just keeps getting better and better. I think I'm retiring for England, and having the international breaks free has helped him a lot. His hunger and desire is phenomenal. I know from the guys down at Leicester that he just wants to win. He's won the Premier League already, and he wants to win more things. And My biggest worry for Leicester this season is if they lose Jamie Vardy.
I mean, it's a huge game at the weekend, City and Leicester. Give me a Leicester player that gets in the City team.
Obviously, if Aguero's not fit, I know Jesus has come in and got a hat-trick in the Champions League the other week there. You would say Vardy maybe, if Aguero's not there. The other big one for me is Ben Chilwell. I think he's
they've got two really good fullbacks, actually, haven't they? Pereira?
Yeah, Pereira and Chilwell. Be very surprised, no disrespect to Leicester, if Ben Chilwell was there this time next year. And Pereira, for me, speaking to my old mate Jerry Taggart, who's involved with Leicester, and we're talking about Chilwell, and he brought up the fact that he thinks Pereira, and he sees them every single week, is probably one of the best fullbacks in the Premier League.
Oh, wow. Well, contrary to what Pep said, there's been speculation about whether or not he might leave at the end of the season, and Brendan Rodgers has been kind of spoken about as a replacement. Do you think that could work?
Yeah, but I think Pep will be here a lot longer than what people think. I know recently, because this so-called clause in the last week's came out about his contract, but I'll only go back to a couple of weeks ago where he said he loves Manchester, he wants to be here as long as the owners want him here. So I fully expect him to be here a long time. And on Brendan, I think any job, because the job he's done at Leicester, any big job that comes up now, his name will be getting put forward for it.
New contract at Leicester, incidentally, another 5-6 years on top, hasn't he?
He is, and he's got great owners there, and they're going to give him the chance to build on the magnificent job he's already done yet.
Give us a score for the weekend?
No, I want your score prediction.
I'm going to go Manchester City 3, Leicester 1.
Oh, what about you, Al?
City don't score 3 goals against Leicester.
Well, what are you saying?
2. I think the fact the game's at City, I mean, to be honest, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll just go with you because you're here, because you're paying for lunch. City I think it'll be tighter than you think.
Aguero back in training as well, a chance of starting. Yeah.
But you're both saying it's a Man City win?
Just.
Right then. So we've got your Premier League winners then, lads, but what's your prediction for the top 4? 2 of the teams that I'm expecting to feature, or possibly not, are Spurs and Chelsea, who obviously go head-to-head this weekend, don't they?
Yep, and obviously it looks, for me, that the top 4, no particular order, will be Manchester City, Liverpool, Leicester will see it through, and I really fancy Spurs under Jose to get in there.
Not Chelsea United?
Chelsea, possibility. I just think the Jose factor there. I think Frank Lampard's done an unbelievable job.
Do you not think, because obviously he had a cracking start to the season, do you think he's maybe underachieving now?
No, I think the opposite. I think he overachieved at the start of the season, and I didn't buy in at the time, and people were saying that the job Frank had was quite an easy one. He had to play the kids. He didn't have to play the kids at all. He'd senior players like, Pedro, Batshuayi, Giroud, World Cup winner, that he could have played. That would have been easier for him to do that.
Yeah.
The embargo being lifted in January, he's probably going to get money to spend, but there may be a bit of an exodus as well from Chelsea. Yeah,
there'll have to be players that will go out. I've no doubt about it, after them not having money to spend in the last couple of transfer windows, that they'll go pretty big in January.
Top 4 then?
I think they'll just miss out. I just think the Jose factor at Tottenham, they've got a really strong squad already. He's getting the best out of them. No, I think they were 14th when Jose came in, and they're sitting 5th now.
Exactly.
And
his old team as well.
And I think
we've got a belter and Sunday.
Yeah, and on the flip side of Chelsea getting money to spend in January, I think Jose will go big as well.
Sorry, I'm just getting so City, so Liverpool, Leicester City, Spurs, Chelsea United, Arsenal and Wolves, no chance.
Arsenal miles away.
No,
absolutely miles away. And I know we'll go into it later, but there's talk of Mikel Arteta going in, but that's a huge job. And I looked at them on Sunday, and it was men against boys.
Yeah. So just to recap then, who is your top 4 this season?
Manchester City, Liverpool, Leicester City and Spurs.
I'm guessing that's in no particular order, Paul.
No particular order.
What about you, Al?
Yeah, Liverpool will win it now. I don't see them slipping up at all. I think Leicester, with the squad they've got, are probably going to stay there. I would like to see Chelsea, because I think Frank's done brilliant. I get on all right with Frank. Spurs are pretty strong. Will they or not lose Eriksen? Will he spend more money? I'll go with Paul's top 4, because that looks as if they are the strongest. But
I think he's paying for lunch.
Yeah, exactly. But I think if Chelsea get their finger out, I think they could maybe sneak it.
Right then, and your score predictions as well for the weekend's game.
For the weekend, I'm going to go Mourinho masterclass, clean sheet, and 2-0 Tottenham Hotspur.
2-0.
Had this been 2 months ago with the start Frank had at Chelsea, I might have said they got a point, but I'm going with Paul as well. Sounds a bit boring, but I think Spurs are just going to be too strong for Chelsea.
Both agreeing on that one. Right, we've got your winner and now top 4 order. But which 3 teams, and I hate to ask you this, lads,
What?
Who's going to get relegated?
Oh, I hate this one.
Well, listen, Watford are 6 points from safety.
Yeah.
Right. So take that information and do with it as you choose.
Yeah, look, I would love to see.
I don't like doing the bottom three. I hate this.
It's horrible. It's horrible, you know,
you're
because
going to upset somebody.
yeah, we're going to upset.
So
well,
upset
at least 3 people, and there's always one team at the very death that gets dragged into it. But looking at Watford, for example, I would love to see Watford stay up. Obviously, Nigel Pearson's went in there, my old manager who re-signed me at Leicester, and you know he's fantastic, very, very organised. Comes across a little bit dour at times, but he's got a great sense of humour. Man management's very good, and he'll get them organised. But I look at their squad and 6 points off already. As I said, I would love to see them staying up, but I can't see it. And I'm looking at the bottom 3 now with Norwich and Southampton in there. And I think that could well be the bottom 3 that go down.
We've got Watford, Norwich, Southampton, then my old team Villa, Everton. They'll be hoping Ancelotti gets the job and gets them out there. West Ham and Bournemouth. Now, I'm saying, I know Bournemouth beat Chelsea last week, but I'm saying Bournemouth and West Ham are in a relegation.
I think they all are. And Bournemouth, you know, look, I know Nathan Acca, who's the best player and their main player and the biggest influence in the team, is out injured. But there's huge talk of him leaving in January, you know, which would be a huge blow. Even if they get money in to try and replace him is going to be big for them. But I'm with you, big man. You know, you look from Bournemouth downwards, anyone can get dragged in. But I just look at Watford, Norwich, Southampton. Have they got the final? Norwich have got Pukki up there who's scoring goals, but I just can't see how they're going to get out of it.
So, Paul, you're saying Watford, Norwich, Southampton to get relegated. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Al. Give me a 3.
I still think West Ham and Bournemouth are not out of this. And I don't know whether Southampton, with some of the results I've had, it's a really tough one. I'll go Watford, Norwich because I think they're kind of gone.
I like how you've mentioned every club there apart from Aston Villa. I think that's in the bottom 6 or 7.
I think Villa will be alright. I genuinely do. I think Villa will be okay.
No, I agree.
But only just. But I just think West Ham and Bournemouth, Southampton, Norwich and Watford. Give me 5, 3 out of 5, will you?
No. You're having 3.
Alright, I'll go for that 3.
Oh, surprise. Who's paid for lunch?
Hey, listen, well, hang on a minute. Watford and Manchester United score prediction.
This weekend.
Yeah,
United off the result against Man City.
Yeah, but they've not won a game since then. I just look at it, and obviously I spoke about Nigel Pearson before, and you know he'll look at that City United derby game and see how City kept a high line, spaces in behind, and United were devastating on the counter attack. And I also think you'll look at the Everton game last week at Old Trafford, where they sat in, made it really difficult for Rashford, Martial, getting in behind them, Daniel James. And I think that's how they'll set up. I could see this being a draw. I really could.
Really?
Yeah, because just how... I think Nigel, I'm not going to call him stupid, but it would be very silly if he went after Man United, because United have showed that they can absolutely destroy anybody. And I fully expect him to play 5 at the back, sit in there and look to hit United in the counter. And United have found that difficult, and teams have done that against them.
Right, so Paul is saying it could be a draw. What's your score prediction now?
I think United are a certainty. I don't think Nigel, he'll have an influence on the team naturally. To think it's going to happen within the first week, I don't believe that will be the case, and I think it'll be an easy 3 points for Manchester.
They will be well drilled defensively, Watford.
I appreciate that. They've also got injuries in their team as well, Watford, incidentally. And again, with Nigel just coming in, he's kind of juggling the pack, and they'll need to make sure he can A, trust some players, and B, play the way he wants them to play. I just think playing United after result, I think United will be too much. I think they'll nick it, Man United.
Right, so the fourth and final prediction I want from you both is who could end up being the better appointment between Arteta at Arsenal and Ancelotti at Everton?
Wow. And
Are you having Arteta at Arsenal then?
Yes, I am.
Somebody said the other day they were he should be more of an Arsenal manager than an Everton manager, and he actually played more games for Everton.
Than he did at Arsenal.
More DNA at Everton than he did for Arsenal.
Yeah, I think because he captained the club, he captained Arsenal for a couple of seasons as well. You know, and he had a big influence, not just in the changing room, but from what you hear for the people that run the club as well. And obviously, look, knowing McInally and I was going to say being up close and personal, but and seeing how he works. Look, I'll look at his time in Manchester City, and he's the go-to person for the players, and you know it's so important for whether you're the manager or especially a young first team coach to getting the respect to the players. And at Manchester City they've got 25 world class players, which comes with that sometimes 25 big egos as well. And he's the one after training, if anybody wants to work in anything extra, not just in the training pitch, but if they want to go in into a room and analyse things, he's the one, and his football knowledge is phenomenal.
Well, his stock's high, obviously, working under Pep Guardiola for starters. The only thing is, do you expect, if he goes into the Arsenal situation, he's not dealing with the players that he's got at Manchester
No, but look, Mikel's a lovely guy, but he's a strong character as well. He knows what he wants, and and it looks as if he's going to take the Arsenal job, he won't do that without any guarantees, as in building long term, as in knowing there's funds there to spend, as in getting the players out he wants to get out, to get the players in that he wants to get in.
We mentioned as well on the group chat a few weeks ago how important it is for Arsenal to have a good communicator. Will he fit that role? Yes,
his English is perfect, and really intelligent guy. You see the interviews that he does, he's very articulate. The biggest thing is whether he can talk in front of a camera or not, he can translate that to the players in the changing room, and that's going to be the most important thing.
Well, Arsenal's opponents, Everton, Ancelotti, is he a good fit there?
What a fantastic coup that is, if they manage to get it.
He's been for Everton to even think about getting it.
Champions League, I think he's won the league in every country he's been in, cups. We spoke a few weeks ago about, just before Marco Silva went, about getting the best out of the players that they've got there, which obviously didn't happen. I mean, if you're an Everton player and you've got Carlo Ancelotti coming in, you're going to be absolutely buzzing, because his record speaks for itself.
I've got a problem with Everton to the point of Marco Silva was they waited to try and get him, paid money to get him, wee man, put him in, 18 months he's gone. There's no long-term plan there.
There's not, but I didn't. Look, it sounds.
I thought there should be.
It sounds being clever now after it's happened, but I'd never seen the Marco Silva thing. Okay. I know initially at Hull he went in and done okay, get relegated. Watford, he wasn't there that very long before he was making noises to leave. And you look at the players that he inherited at Everton, the money that he spent, you've got to do better than that, But Ancelotti getting in for me is fantastic for Everton.
Well, spotlight on you, Paul. Who's going to be the better appointment if it happens?
I think short term, not sitting the fence here. I was
going to say, does it hit on that fence?
Yeah, it does. It does. You've got to say Ancelotti, but I think if Mikel is allowed to implement the plan that he wants to do at Arsenal long term, they're not just talking 2 years, it's going to take, because Arsenal are miles away. If he can go in there for 2, 3, 4 years, maybe till Pep leaves City, I would say Mikel Arteta.
Bit of a talking point of the weekend with Moise Keane coming on, coming off, big dunk deciding, he makes the decisions. Any problem with that?
No, it happens to the best of them. It actually happened to me when I played for Scotland, Played Croatia away and came on as sub. Well, it's slightly different because I came on as sub early in the first half because I had an injury. And we were drawn 1-1, and Craig Brown took me off in the 89th minute.
Oh.
I can understand.
Did you get acknowledged when you walked off?
I didn't acknowledge him. I was absolutely raging.
Well, that situation you're talking about is pretty different, but Moise Keane coming on, I mean, I'm giving it cotton wool society big time. I mean, oh my goodness, I've been brought on, brought off. Now, he's not been brilliant for Everton, and it's not nice to see when a young player that happens to him. But Big Dunk can surely do what he wants.
Of course he can, and I thought Duncan handled it brilliantly well. He could have come out in his interviews afterwards, and they were still talking about it a couple of hours, still talking about it now, so it was a big thing. And he could have said he didn't do what I asked him to do. He didn't work hard enough. He's let the team down, he's let me down, but he didn't. He said he needed to make a substitution to kill time. And I thought Duncan handled it fairly well.
I'm hoping he just dusts himself down and learns from it. Yeah. Whatever he thinks he did do well or didn't do well, that he learns from it. Moise Keane, and he comes back.
I think he's got to learn about his reaction as well, because they talk about Duncan blanking him. He was already walking. You've got to sucker up sometimes. As much as a footballer, as much as you don't like getting taken off, you bite your tongue and you go and sit down and respect it.
Big game, Everton-Arsenal.
It is, I think.
Score?
I can see Everton winning quite comfortably. Arsenal can't win away from home. Defensively, they're all over the place, and I think with it being at Goodison and the buzz of Ancelotti coming in.
So who do you think will win?
I feel as though the lads are playing for Duncan Ferguson at the minute, and I think, do you know what? If he is still in charge, I think they will win. What do you think?
Yeah, Arsenal on the road have been rotten.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't have a heart, but when I watch the game, I'm like, if I played against that back three, back four, back five, I'm going to terrorise the whole shooting match.
Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison could absolutely destroy Arsenal's defence at the weekend.
Well, I think it's pretty unanimous. I think we're going for Everton.
I think we are. So we've got your score prediction for that. Thank you very much, lads. Let us know what you think about the thoughts of Alan and Paul in either the YouTube comments or using the hashtag the group chat. You've done that very well so far, by the way. So well done. Now then, to the Nat Challenge. Now, last week, Alan, surprise, you successfully went for Brentford to beat Fulham, but Paul, I'm afraid you had an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
You went for Stoke to beat Reading, then it was 0-0, 0 shots on target, and you were there. What was it like?
It was a bit time. It was a bit time you got something right, by the way.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, Sterling, Jeff, on Soccer Saturday, came to me about 20 minutes to go, and I said, "Are you happy now? It's like freezing cold." I said, the managers have taken the goalkeepers off because there's not been a shot on target. And I turned around to there was a huge clock in the corner, like a big screen. I said, there's 22 minutes to go, 0-0. Thinking, if I say that, there'll be a goal and Jeff can come back to me. Honestly, I could have left there and then got in the car and drove home. It wouldn't have been a problem. The game was dreadful. I mean, to be fair, Mark Bourne was actually relatively happy the way Reading played. But it's a big job for Michael O'Neill to get Stoke firing. The biggest thing we man, and you'll know what I'm going to say about the crowd at Stoke, was not only like not ready to boo, but in numbers you could see the difference already.
That surprised me because they won 3-0 the game before. I just thought they would have went in a row, and that was why I went for them.
So listen, the bottom line is the game was dreadful, 0-0.
And it means that you've got a forfeit, Paul. And it's another financial one, just in time for Christmas, so you guys are in luck. Now, Paul is going to be putting £50 for one follower to win. Now, check out Footy Accumulator's Twitter account to see how you can get involved with
Hey, by the way, we give away 100 quid.
Yeah, you both put your hands in your pockets, didn't you?
Did you win?
Yes, congratulations to Gary Hunter. Well done, because you won last week's NAP challenge competition. Right then, we move on because Paul, you need to get something right this week.
I do. I'm skint going into Christmas now.
You're basically turning up.
I can't take him for lunch anymore. You know what I mean?
Who are you going for?
I'm going to go
in the NAP's the NAP challenge. It has to be even money or better, so it's not just putting whomever.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a slightly strange one again. I'm going to go for Brighton to beat Sheffield United at home.
Sheffield United?
Yeah, look, Chris Wilder's done an unbelievable job, and he'll probably...
Another 50 quid.
He'll probably...
You can wait by that.
I just love giving.
Brighton did pretty well the other day against Palace.
I think they've been excellent, and they've won 3 out of the last 5 home games. They came to... Always go back to Man City. They came to the Etihad earlier on the season, and as much as City ended up winning 4 or 5, Brighton were excellent. They're one of the best footballing teams I've seen come to the Etihad.
Well, thanks to William Hill, 65 about Brighton, which is pretty good. And I've gone, again, thanks to William Hill. I think they were even money. William Hill's given me 11 to 10. Thank you very much. I'm going to go, who do I go for? Blackpool. They've won their 4 out of 5, and they've won their last 4 out of 5 home games. They play Shrewsbury, who have let me down a couple of times. So, Blackpool.
It's nailed on Shrewsbury
11 to 10. I might even try and get a 65. William Hill will give us it, don't worry. So I'm going to go Blackpool to beat Shrewsbury, and yours is Brighton to beat
Sheffield United.
That's a tough game, by the way.
I'm not going to lie, I hope that you both lose because it's more money in your kitty. Right then, finally, we have our group chat, acca. The 3 teams this week are selected by you guys, the Footy Accumulators followers are Bournemouth to beat Burnley, QPR to beat Charlton, West Brom to beat Brentford.
Which is where I am Saturday, actually, West Brom Brentford.
That's going to be a good game.
Because obviously they did me a big favour last week beating Fulham. And the current odds with William Hill are around 7-1. Now, of course, we want the acca, so we're going to add another one into that. Now, I don't have anything to do with this, by the way. Well, I'd never get it right. So between you guys, who have you chosen?
I mean, to be fair, Paul, it's about time you got something right. So
I'm getting battered here today.
It's just going to be right. It's going to cost them 50 quid.
That's why it's time for him to get something right, Paul.
I'm going to go for Hull City at home to beat Birmingham.
Why is that?
I just think, Jared Bowen for a start is probably one of the best players in the Championship. A lot of big clubs watching him. 10 goals in his last 10 games. Hull won their last 2 home games, scoring 6 goals, and you look at Birmingham's form at the minute. They've only won 1 out of the last 5.
New
manager, Gary Monk's best mate. As we all know, Pep Clotet. He struggled slightly since he went in there. It's going to take him a bit of time. But on the other side, Grant McInally, who was the old Donny manager after I left, has went into Hull and doing a great job.
Okay then, so our group chat acca, we're going to have Bournemouth to beat Burnley, QPR to beat Charlton, West Brom to beat Brentford, and that was around 7-1 with William Hill. But the good news is William Hill are going to give us better odds by adding Hull in there, guys. We're getting over 14-1. So thanks, Willie Hill.
I might get on that myself to try and get some money back.
You need it.
In all seriousness, if you had I might not now because you put Hull in and you've chosen it.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you have anything to do with that?
That's absolutely nothing to do with it, so I wouldn't.
Group chat acca. Bournemouth, QPR, West Brom, and Hull to beat Birmingham. And with William Hill, you're going to get over 14-1. Fingers crossed.
Right, before I let you two go for lunch and scurry off, a quick recap of our bets for this weekend. The Nat Challenge, Alan, you've gone for Blackpool.
Yep.
Paul, you've gone for Brighton.
Yep,
Thank you very
come
much.
on.
The group chat, acca, quick recap of that.
We'll go Bournemouth to beat Burnley, QPR to beat Charlton, West Brom to beat Brentford, and Hull to beat Birmingham.
There we have it. Thank you once again, Paul, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's our final group chat before the end of 2019.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you have to be over 18 to be a part of it, and make sure that you are gambling responsibly. Like I say, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thanks, guys.
And enjoy your lunch.